Okay, good evening, everybody. It's 6 o'clock, and we have
has joined the meeting.
We have the West Haven City Council special meeting for today, March 19th, 2020. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Before we start, for those that are watching on YouTube, last meeting the council passed rules to modify our rules in order for us to engage in remote meetings should in fact an emergency declaration be issued by the governor or the mayor of West Haven. And as things transpired, in fact, we are currently under an emergency declaration from the governor and the mayor of West Haven, so we are operating remotely. So in the council chambers, I have myself, Ron Quagliani, as chair. I have Mayor Nancy Rossi, and I have our temp clerk this evening, Michael DeMassa, and our council members are on conference call here in the chambers, and shortly we will conduct a roll call. So that being said, if us in the chamber and those on the call could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Bridget Hosky has joined the meeting.
Okay, so we've had the call to order and the pledge. Michael will conduct the roll call. I'd ask you that when he calls your name, you respond by, for example, Michael will call Councilman Donovan, and then we'd like you to respond, Councilman Donovan, at large, present. And we would go around with your full name, your district that you represent, or if you're at large, and that you're on the call. So, Michael, if you could conduct the roll call, please.
Councilman Donovan.
Councilman Donovan, Councilman at large, here.
Councilwoman O'Connor.
Councilwoman O'Connor at large, here.
Councilwoman Hosky.
Councilwoman Hosky, 1st District, present.
Councilman Conlon.
Councilman Conlon, 2nd District, present.
Councilwoman Johnston.
Councilwoman Johnston, District 3, present.
Councilman Galliano.
Councilman Galliano, District 4, present.
Councilwoman Hamilton.
Councilwoman Hamilton, 5th District, present.
Councilman Massaro.
Councilman Peter Massaro, 6th District, present.
Councilwoman McGee.
Councilwoman McGee, 7th District, present.
Councilwoman Finelli.
Councilwoman Finelli, 8th District, present.
Councilman Bruno.
Councilman Robert Bruno, 9th District, present.
Councilman Cohen.
Councilman Barry Lee Cohen, 10th District, present.
Chairman Quagliani.
And Chairman Ron Quagliani, I'm present, and we have full house. So I appreciate everybody being on the call. I think that's going to be the extent of input. So if you have mute, to put your phones on mute, and then we'll continue with the rest of the agenda. Thank you very much. I will, Michael, if you could read the call of the special meeting.
West Haven City Council notice agenda of special meeting March 19th, 2020. In accordance with Rule 11 of the rules governing the actions of the City Council, Mayor Nancy R. Rossi has called a special meeting of the West Haven City Council to be held at 6 p.m. on Thursday, March 19th, 2020. This meeting will be held via electronic methods in accordance with Rule 30. The purpose of this special meeting is as follows. Mayor Nancy R. Rossi's presentation of the budget and 5-year capital plan for fiscal year July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Michael. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mayor Rossi for her presentation of the budget and 5-year capital plan for fiscal year July 1, 2020 to June 30, 2021. Mayor?
Thank you, Chairman Quagliani. I'm going to first read my address, and then I do have a few comments on what has happened with the budget this time around, and also a couple of final comments. So, this is addressed to March 19th, 2020. Ronald M. Quagliani, Chairman, City Council. Members of the City Council, residents of the City of West Haven. Dear Chairman Quagliani and City Council members, as required by and in compliance with the City Charter, I am pleased to present my recommended budget for fiscal year 21, which commences on July the 1st, 2020 and ends on June 30th, 21. I am transmitting my fiscal year 21 operating budgets for the General Fund, the Water Pollution Control Authority Sewer Fund, and City of West Haven Allentown Fire Department, along with the city's 5-year capital expenditure plan. In 2017, the city came under state control as a Tier 3 municipality. On December 4th, 2017, the city was involuntarily referred to the Municipal Accountability Review Board, MARB, based on the issuance in November of 2017 of a deficit obligation. With state oversight and the designation of a Tier 3 status, we are required to follow a very rigid but necessary fiscal plan to receive state assistance and attain a level of fiscal sustainability, which is our goal. This includes fiscal constraints which limit our ability to enhance services even as we work diligently to achieve efficiencies, cost savings, and revenue enhancement throughout the administration. The development of these budgets has continued to be impacted by the city's serious financial condition and our long-term financial goals. While I am encouraged by the financial progress the city has made to date, much still needs to be accomplished in the face of the numerous challenges that lie ahead. Our progress in achieving the critical changes needed has not been as swift as I had hoped. We have been impacted by the limited personnel and fiscal resources available to us as we work through this financial crisis. My administration has been able to control budget growth and mitigate pressure on mill rate increases through a number of initiatives. On the expenditure side of the budget, we have eliminated a number of positions while freezing most other vacant positions, significantly reducing overtime, changed the medical insurance coverage for all city employees to the state partnership plan or high deductible plan, which resulted in savings of approximately $625,000 annually. Competitively bid our electricity supplier at a savings of approximately $280,000 per year. Renegotiated long-term leases of city property, initiated process to sell vacant city properties. Additionally, we are advancing other initiatives that will yield savings and create greater efficiencies, such as the reorganization and consolidation of our human resource functions, an example, payroll, benefits, and personnel, with the Board of Education. The establishment of an energy savings performance contract project, which will provide additional energy savings and also cover the cost of acquiring more efficient energy-related equipment and energy-related building improvements. We continue to pursue solar projects whenever possible. Relative to the revenue portion of the budget, we have initiated a user fee evaluation to identify and implement increases in existing user fees where feasible and adopt new fees where possible. Phase 1 was completed in December and Phase 2 is scheduled to be completed by the end of the fiscal year. This project also includes an analysis to determine if the city is recovering sufficient revenue from indirect costs or third-party services. We have retained a consulting firm to conduct a telecommunications bill audit, which is expected to recover funds resulting from incorrect billings and deliver future savings by identifying alternative pricing options and equipment changes. With government reorganization, economic development, and budget reform, West Haven will reduce its reliance on state funding. In conclusion, I would like to thank the Board of Finance, the Finance Director, Department of Finance, and the city's department heads for compiling the information and data that was necessary to put this document together. I look forward to working with the Municipal Accountability Review Board and the City Council to pass a responsible and balanced budget that will allow the city to maintain critical services while strengthening West Haven's future financial outlook. Respectfully submitted, Nancy R. Rossi, Mayor, City of West Haven. Now I'm going to give people some page numbers, and I know all of you should have had your budgets. I'm just giving a few highlights of, this was a total restructuring of many departments in the budget. Not all, but there are quite a few changes, whether it's changing one position to another type of position that better serves that department. So the first I'm going to begin with is page 28. And on page 28, that is the city council agenda. I want to be clear, Mr. DeMass's pay is not being cut. I just want to make sure of that. That's one of the reasons I started with that one first, even though it's first in the budget. The way it is supposed to work is 25 hours is supposed to be spent at in the city council office. The other 10 hours we are going to put in corporation council. So when we get to the corporation council budget, you will see there's an additional admin position there for a little over $16,000. So when you add the two figures together, it equals his full pay and no cuts are being made. There's also the addition of $10,000 for charter revision expenditures, which will come once we get to that process, because as we've talked about, there's going to have to be some sort of advertising and making people aware of this process. Now I'm going to go to page 32, and that one is the corporation council budget. And we did add a 35-hour week position for an attorney. We also have the addition of a risk manager, which previously this had been combined with our procurement manager. However, now that we've done an HR study and done a lot of studies and looking at restructuring and talking to Marv and heeding their recommendations, we are adding the risk manager position, which really is required by Marv and is best practices. We also have the addition of funding to tax foreclosure expense. And Lee, I'm sure, is going to be called, well, he'll probably be at most meetings anyway, but he's going to be called, and he can explain how that's going to work. Page 34, that's the addition of a benefits coordinator. And that, again, was a requirement through the HR study and Marv, and it also is best practices. Page 44, we eliminated one position, grants writer, but we did an addition of a grants coordinator, which is an upgrade in that position, and we believe will increase the revenue through grants. Additionally, I've added 2 building officials, as I had talked about, I believe, at one of the council meetings. I believe it's important that if we want to have economic development, we're going to have to increase our capacity to do inspections and take care of people who are doing business or building in our city. Page 50, we've eliminated 2 positions, and we have the addition of a junior financial analyst. And there's a continuation of consulting funding until the complete restructuring is done. And what I mean by that is we don't want to leave ourselves with no place to go if something new popped up, because again, we're doing a restructuring, so there were no definites. We have some good ideas and good direction, but until we put people in place and see how this all comes together, we left that in the budget, because in the past, Marv had required it. Next, page 52, I really have already explained this one. This was where the procurement and risk manager was one position. Now it's divided in 2. The procurement manager will be on 52, and the risk manager was on page 32. Page 58 is the assessor's office, and that's going to be the elimination of an assessment analyst, addition of a data entry specialist. Page 63 is the police department. There's the addition of a new patrol officer position, because as we know, they've had trouble in the past getting up to staff. This is the closest we've been. Right now, when I looked at the patrol division, they were only missing 2 officers. So what I wanted to do was add another officer's position to that, because just in case we have an opportunity, I don't want it that we don't have the funding in place and would have to go through the city council, and it might take time. We don't want to lose somebody if they're really eager to serve on West Haven PD. And also, I fully funded a Detective B position, There was a Detective B position in there, but it only had the dollar, so it is fully funded. As we all know, a detective is not going to work for $1 a year. On page 74, we fully funded the MS4 mandate, which is required and has to be done, and so again, you will find that on page 74. Last year it was split, $150,000 was in there, but then we had the other, I believe it was in the capital plan. So this is the proper and correct way to do it, and this is the way that we've done it. Page 98 is a new account, and it's a separation pay account. We put in $92,000, and although that wouldn't cover, a lot of people that left, it's a start, and that's what we have to do, because again, it's best practices. If someone leaves and they're entitled to be paid out and they get paid out when they leave, if we don't account for this in the budget, it's going to cause a deficit. And then I want to just skip over to page 119, and that's Allentown. And Allentown, I must say, their deficit has been eliminated, and they have now fully funded their health insurance and their ADEC, which is the payment for the pension, which is decided on not by me or anyone else other than the actuary, and that is fully funded per the actuarial study. And I want to say that for right now, the tax rate is flat. I'm hoping that once we get through the process of the budget and through the MAR process, that it will continue to stay flat. We have also funded the revenue assumptions in the 5-year plan, and you'll see that in the back. I don't have the page number for that, but it is the part that when everyone came to my office one by one and we talked about the 5-year plan, we talked about kind of paying yourself back, if you will, putting this in the fund balance, like your savings account. I also want to say that we have several commissioners in the city of West Haven that I appoint. All commissioners were reappointed. There is no changes in the commissioners or their duties. And as I said, we have fully funded all mandates, and not only the MS4, but health insurance, the ADIC pension contribution, and MAR recommendations for HR/personnel and community resources. And then as far as on the Board of Education side, they have received additional ECS funding. So we were able to flat fund them, and they will be able to fund the Board of Education and take care of our children. So that's always one of our most important things. I just want to also add just a little bit more. These are unprecedented times. I will continue to work closely with Chairman Quagliani, Majority Leader Hamilton, and Finance Chair Hosky, along with the members of the City Council, to facilitate the continued work on the budget in the weeks ahead, and together we will research alternative, realistic revenue sources. I am very proud of the fact that even in these difficult times, we were able to produce a budget on time and in balance, and hold the first meeting to release the budget again on time. And this is the first virtual, electronic, remote meeting, and I think that says a lot about the staff and the people that work in City Hall. I want to give a special thanks to the finance director, his staff, Michael Milone, and everyone that worked on the budget. I also would like to thank everyone who has come to work this past week under, I'd say, one of the most difficult set of situations that anybody has had to deal with, because it is very difficult with all that's going around. But they have come, they have worked, and everybody has done a terrific job, and I'm hoping that it continues through the end of the week, and as long as we're able to keep City Hall open to the workers, but not to the public. I also want to thank David Richards for assisting us with IT so this meeting and future meetings can be held remotely in these unsettling times. This has been a very difficult time for everyone, not only the people in City Hall, but obviously all of the residents of the city of West Haven. And we're going to do our best to work together to do whatever we can to help everyone, and we've been trying to assist as it was, and we, the superintendent has taken care of the school children, and they are getting the 2 meals a day. And again, we will try very, very hard to work with everyone. And I will tell everyone, I hope that everyone stays healthy and safe. That's the most important thing, and to really, really adhere to all the guidelines that we're giving them, giving everyone, because we really all need to work together. So I keep telling everybody, this too shall pass. Thank you for everyone's attention this evening. Have a good evening. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor Rossi. I'd just like to follow on with a couple of comments and agree with the mayor as far as what not only we in the city of West Haven, but the country and the world has been facing. Obviously, we always plan and we've always had issues that confront us and that we have to deal with. This is a significant issue, but I am confident, again, as we all work together, not only as a community, but as a state, a country, and a world, that we will overcome this. But I do recognize, and the mayor and I know the council recognizes, that there will be some significant financial strain on our community members in the short term while we do work through that. So it was critically important for us to continue the normalcy of showing and being able to manage the business of the city. So that's why we're here today. That's why we'll continue to be here. This budget process is now the beginning for the city council. The city council now will have a little over a month to begin to review the budget, discuss it with the mayor and the department heads, allow for the community to have input, and then by the first Thursday in May, determine what the approved budget will be. I'd just like to say that we will, if not already, the budget will be online very soon so that the members of the public can review it. I anticipate we'll have some hard copies available. We'll just have to coordinate how we will get those hard copies to individuals that don't have online access, and we will relay that information hopefully by tomorrow. I would just like to mention our rules for electronic meetings regarding public participation. We will post this in The Voice next week along with the mayor's recommended budget, but there are two options for the public to be able to comment on either matters of the budget or matters of a regular council meeting. They could either do so by sending their comments via email to the council office, Mike DeMassa, mdemassa@westhaven-ct.gov. Include in your email your name and your address, and then we will read those comments into the record under public comment section of the city council meeting. For those that don't have access to email, you could write us and mail it to in care of the city council in the West Haven City Hall, 355 Main Street, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516. And again, we will post that information in The Voice so everybody has that, and again, those comments will be read into the record as well. We hope that prior to our budget deliberations are completed by the first Thursday of May that things will improve and we will be able to have in-person meetings again, and we will hold a public hearing if able to where public can actually come and voice their opinions prior to our May deadline. So the process going forward now will be for the finance chair, Councilwoman Hosky, to set up department head meetings, virtual meetings to review the budget, and again that will take place between now and the remainder of April and the first week of May. The public hearing for the budget, where the community is encouraged to send in written or emailed comments, will be April 2nd, 2020 at 6 o'clock. Again, that'll be April 2nd, 2020 at 6 o'clock, and that will be where we will read the comments that we receive into the record. What's that?
For the public, YouTube.
Yes, and again, YouTube will be available for all of our meetings. So if you go to the city website, you click on the YouTube button, and then you'll be able to see the meetings either live or they'll be archived there so you could review them at your leisure. That being said, before we adjourn, I would just like to offer a special happy birthday to Majority Leader Robin Hamilton, as today is her Happy birthday, Robin.
Happy birthday, Robin.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I want to thank all of you for participating, 100% participation, and we will look forward to hearing from all of you again at our council meeting this coming Monday at 7 o'clock. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.